Okay, my loves, my dear beloveds, my moon siblings. As you can see, I'm a little bit tired. Feeling the effects of the... Gotta get my mic for that one. Feeling the effects of the retrograde. But don't worry. I went back to my notebook. I am not a fan of doing it on my phone. I don't even like it. But here's something I realized is you do better when doing gratitudes or when doing like taking notes on whatever the spirit drops into you if you write it down. And that's not only biblical, but that's just a principle of prosperity, is go ahead and write it down. Make it plain. Write your vision, make it plain. We hear that over and over again, so that's something. But I won't keep you too long. We're going to go ahead and start with the don'ts of Mercury retrograde. And I know you guys hear this all the time, but this is not a time that we need to be like running around like a chicken with its head cut off. It's not that traumatic. It's just emotional. I'll tell you that off the bat, because it's retrograding in Pisces, and Pisces is a emotional plant, like emotional sign. So I'm going to give you the don'ts. I'm going to give you the do's, and I'm going to give you the maybe you should. No, I'm just joking. I'm going to give you the don'ts, the do's, the meditations that would be very helpful during this time. I got essential oils that will be great for you during this time. I got stones and gems and crystals that'll be great for you during this time. Even positions to put your body in when you're laying down that'll help during this time. And to be quite honest, you'll be in so much alignment. You can be like, Mercury who? Mercury what? That was what? That was Mercury retrograde? That's nothing. But you'll definitely still feel the emotional part of everything. But I was watching the video I posted earlier, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you can hear so much like movement, and it's not a windy day today. So I mean, like, I feel like you can hear like wind rushing, a mighty rushing wind. Yeah. Or something in the background. I was just like, okay. Do you have a message for us, spirits? Do you want to tell us something? Something I'm missing? Okay. But anyway. And just quick story, because I do this. Before I start, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Comment below what you would like me to cover. You'll see that one of the videos that I pop up with next would be something you request. Maybe I'll do the special delivery song I did in one of the other ones. But I cracked myself up. But no. And follow me on Instagram. It's just another mystic 23. That's it. Everything with this channel is just another mystic 23. If you're not sure what's my email, try just another mystic 23. Maybe that's me. If not, you just told your business to somebody else. But I digressed. So, don'ts for the retrograde. Do not make big plans. Please don't do that. I'm going to put all the don'ts on echo. Don't make big plans. You don't need to make big plans right now. It's 3 weeks. You really can't wait 3 weeks. You don't want to make big plans, because what a lot of times happens is that you'll feel like you want something really bad, because right now it's a very emotional thing. I need this, I want this really bad. And then after 3 weeks, you're like, I don't even like this. This is not even what I want to do. And here you went and spent money and did a bunch of other stuff that is unnecessary. So don't make big plans. Don't make big purchases. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. And like I said before in the first video, Mercury is in control. And Mercury is your little finger. Mercury is commerce, travel, and communication. And if it's under communication, that affects technology. And Mercury by itself already affects technology. So with that being said, just as I say that, right? With that being said, keep in mind that technology is going to be acting up. GPS, your cars, whatever, everything might be doing something a little funky. So go ahead and like be aware about that. So pack extra stuff. Pack go kit, or not a go kit because that's a little dramatic. I don't think it's going to be like something that bad. But pack like your little, you know, your medical kit. Keep it in the car. You know, go ahead, download the maps if you're going to take a big long drive, like you planned a road trip God knows how long ago, and you're about to take a big long drive. Go ahead and like pre-download the pre-download on your maps. Like my phone lets me do that, and I do that because if I take a really long trip, sometimes I stop at a rest stop and like I meditate in my car, and then boom, I'll have tons of issues with my phones and my cars, especially if you're a moon child. One of my moon siblings, there's a good chance that you by yourself probably throw off technology without even being in a retrograde. So, with that being said, don't start anything that it's going to take a lot of energy to put into. And the reason why you don't want to do that is because again, I call this your fickle stage and your communication stage. You will feel so strongly about something that you realize is not for you afterward, or you'll feel that like something's like, this is lame, and then afterward you're like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Something to keep in mind as well is that like starting something new, if you're having to work with a new team or a new group of people, that's gonna be hard. My job has me contracted, and they'll send me to different places. So I was just like, oh my goodness, like not only would I be signing new contracts, like, but I would be sent to places that I'd never been to before. That's a little, that's something where in Mercury retrograde you might be probably a little bit, be very, very aware, because it's a situation where you'll sign it and it looks all good or it sounds all great, and then you'll get there and you'll be like, this is not what I signed up for. Y'all bamboozled me, and this is not cool. And since communication's already, it might come off like you're probably thinking, oh, this is not cool. But what you're probably coming off like is, I done told, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants to see that either. So, don't launch a new endeavor. Be very, very conscientious of whatever new job you start. If you're gonna have to sign a contract, double check it again, and then get a friend to check it. And before you do anything huge, that if your spirit guides, I'm using spirit guides, but you guys know spirit guides, angels, all that other stuff. If they're leading you to do it, of course do it. But I mean, on top of it, if they're leading you to do it, make sure before you do it, you meditate and you use one of these, you meditate, and I'm going to give you like how to do a bath. So you can do a Mercury retrograde bath of cleansing, communication, and protection. And I'll give you guys a couple of ingredients, but I'll go into that later for that. I'll also give you guys the stones and crystals to use during this time, and you can do like what I did is you can make it into a necklace and wear it. I have another one that I'm going to be putting on, or you can make it into earrings, make it into jewelry. You can wear it in, women, you can put it in your bra. I do that all the time. It's not like anybody else is going to be touching my gems, stones, or crystals, but put it in your purse. This will be a great time to put one of the stones in the purse. I'll cover that. Don't close on a house. Try not to sign on a lease. And verbal agreements weigh just as heavy as written agreements. So if you say to someone, yeah, I'll meet you for this, and you're like, this is not that serious, there is a good chance they're probably going to hold on to that. Especially if they're not a follower of the esoteric and then realize it's a retrograde moment. You were like, but then that might weigh on them. So be aware on the plans you make and like how fickle you might be feeling during this time, because it's something that definitely like can cause trouble. Or maybe not trouble, but weigh heavy or not feel very good dealing with it. So weather has the tendency to be duplicitous, so do people. You're going to probably meet people that's going to come off hella two-faced. And I'm going to tell you this right now, there's a good chance that they're not. There's a good chance that that's how they just seem, because they're reacting to the Mercury retrograde as opposed to who they truly are. And that the reason why that's a huge thing is because during this time, Mercury retrograde, it may not feel like it, but this is really a blessing, because it's the time that we go back and we do a ton of like redoing or remaking or re-acknowledging and that's going to be in the do's, and we're going to talk about that in more detail. But this is a really good thing. It's like a blessing in disguise. It's one of those, it's the Tower card. It was like I was saying before, Mercury retrograde is literally your Tower card, and it's in Pisces, so it's more emotion. So it's literally shaking and destroying old things, bad things, things that are not good for you, so you can revisit and get back onto a healthy path. So expect unexpected surprises, good and bad. So in one of my readings, I told you guys, expect unexpected money. That's huge in March, that I keep seeing. Every time I do a reading, I'm like, money again? I better see this soon, because I could use it. But expect it in different ways. Like I told you guys before, check old accounts, check closed accounts, check your mail. If you're not a person that really checks your mail, check your mail. Check in old purses. You're going to be finding or receiving unexpected money. That's a good thing. But also expect unexpected situations. Like, expect running into your ex. And because I'm a person that seems to attract that a lot, I literally move. I'll be like, look at the time for a new state. But it's that bad. But no, but really expect people you haven't talked to in a long time just showing up or just being in your face. That's why I said in the last video, do not contact your ex. There's a good chance they're going to contact you anyway. But understand how you're feeling during this time may not be how you feel after the retrograde. So if you can avoid agreements or augmenting anything or changing your look in any kind of way, avoid it. Avoid it right now, because like I said, it's a big decision. That goes under big decision. If this is something like you planned out and it just happens to fall during this time, you already made your choice, and be aware that you might want to chicken out during this time. So if this is something you planned before the retrograde, do it. But if it was something you planned during the retrograde, just wait a while, see how you're feeling like a week after the retrograde, see if it's something you still honestly are committed to. Don't buy new pieces of technology. Every retrograde, my laptop doesn't even turn on. Like, my laptop right now won't turn on. But I remember when I was younger, before I realized what was going on, I would go out of my way and like be like, oh no, school, work, I don't want to like be in a situation where I don't have a laptop. And then during the 3 weeks, I would go purchase a new laptop, and after, the old laptop start working. So right now, this is like one of the times that your technology might be acting up. Your Wi-Fi shuts down, or your calls keep dropping and stuff like that. And you're like, my phone is trash. Well, you know if your phone is trash. You know it before the retrograde. But if you didn't truly feel like that before the retrograde, then wait again, because it'll be a major purchase, because phones are expensive now, to after the retrograde and see if you still feel the same. And don't, like I said before, don't start anything new. All right. So again, Mercury is in control of communication, commerce, technology, and traveling. So also be aware that this might be a time you might be losing stuff often. If you could, put those little taggy beeper thingies on where you like stick one on your phone, stick one on your keys, check and double check anything you send, check text and make sure people received it. If you're out of alignment, this time will be more difficult for you. So I really want to get into the meditation stuff to do that will help you during this time, but I'm gonna go ahead and hurry up and finish with the do's, because they shouldn't be too long, and then give you some of these recipes for you to do during this time. You can do it anytime. Anytime you're feeling a little bit down or sluggish or low or something like that, then go ahead and you could do this. And I'm going to give you the one that, I'm going to give you like 2 or 3 different ones. One is like, if you want to be cheap, because sometimes I like to be cheap. A lot of times I like to be cheap. If you want to be cheap and you want to use stuff that you probably have at home or you probably have a storing of, then I'm going to give you that. But I'm also going to give you like some other stuff that you can use and you might want to go out and get and might be helpful depending on how you've been feeling. So do's during the Mercury retrograde is I told you already, check and double check.